Well, it gives me great pleasure to be joined by one of Gujarati cinema's rising stars and most prominent actors, Yash Soni. So, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anand.
I mean, congratulations on Raado. I mean, Raado has really been making the Raado, which means scream, I think, amongst the critics and I think amongst cinema.
Yes,
So I guess when
screams, shouting, screams, and khas karina babal.
Bawal,
So
definitely,
yeah,
absolutely. Tell me, Yash. I mean, obviously, this is a film which political thrillers is something which I've not seen much of in Gujarati cinema. Maybe I'm wrong,
right.
but I have not personally seen that many. So I think in terms of that genre, in what way do you think Rado is a really huge, uh, I guess not, I guess a pathbreaker in that sense, in terms of the genre and the style.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, it was our dream, my dream, KD sir's dream, KD sir who has directed the film, who already has directed Chilo Divas, Karsandas Pe and Use, Shoot Haru, Naadi Dosh, many hit films, many blockbuster films. So he's the director and the man behind Rado. So it was fun, like experiencing such huge scale cinema and shooting for such huge scale film. It was really, really different kind of an experience for me as an actor. So yeah,
Right. And I think because obviously it talks about politics and strong political influence
yes,
leaders,
yes,
I presume that there's going to probably be a lot of gray characters, I think, involved within the film and the story. Unfortunately, it's not released
yes.
in the UK yet, but I'm definitely really eager to see it. So, how was your experience of exploring the gray side and the sort of political side of cinema?
So I was always excited about a gray character, about a character who's very powerful and not taking actions very systematically, but he is true to himself, true to the issue which has been created by people. So it is a very strong character, very powerful character, and I was waiting for this character from almost like 6 to 7 years. I had to gain weight for this particular character, and it is very difficult for me to gain weight because I have this lean body type. So it took like 2.5 years for me to gain weight and going through that particular process about workout and diet and you know waking up at midnight to just eat that egg whites and sleeping again. And so it was fun. It was very challenging, of course, because uh, as an actor I can observe things. I can get some kind of characterizations to the character, some kind of mannerisms to the character, but gaining body weight is not my forte. I have never been into exercises, and I'm very lazy kind of a person basically.
Yeah.
So that part was difficult, and then we started our workshops with KD sir. So workshop period was also very very different from what we have already done. If we are starting workshops for particular films, we'll focus on the dialogues, the tonations of the film, and so yeah, that what basically happens in workshops before going on floor. And then when we are on floor, we are shooting for the film. Then there we decide the choreography of the scenes, and uh, then we combine both our workshops intentions and the choreography and the body language to create the scene what we see in the film. But for this particular film, we did a physical workshop, like from the very beginning we started doing workshops with scene choreography. We did mock shoots for this film. Like mock
Wow.
shoot is something like you can't expect in a Gujarati film because of limitations of the budget and
Mhm.
so many things. So we did mock shoot for some particular scenes which were very very crucial to shoot. So many challenges that we faced, but finally many people were injured. Many people were
Wow.
yeah. So but everyone was so involved, even if they are injured, even if they have this. huge wound on their leg or on their face or somewhere, but they still, like, I want to share one incident that
Yep.
we had an actor named Pratik Rathod. He's a
Okay.
brilliant actor. So he was injured, and he went through a surgery during the shoot, during the particular day of the shoot. He went through a surgery and he had 4 stitches in his legs. He he went to the hospital. He did all this. He went through the surgery and the stitches and all. He came back on site and shot for the film.
Wow.
And director told him that, we can push it back. We can reschedule this particular scene. And he was like, no, 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 I don't want to do that. I'll come back and I'll shoot this scene again. So everyone from the team was so much involved in this film. Like, it is totally a team effort that
Hmm.
have created such huge scale cinema in Gujarati.
That is so wonderful, and I think you guys can genuinely say that you gave your blood. I think for this film, you
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
remember.
Many people, many incidents like this.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's really interesting. But I think this year in particular is a very good year for you, Yash, actually, because obviously you
Yeah.
had what you had a Naadi Dosh previously. Then you
Yes.
have also Fakta Mahilao Maate as well coming up. Um,
Yes.
how important is it, do you think, to have social commentary within cinema nowadays? Because as you know, we're seeing an influx of so many social comedies. Like just recently in Hindi, we had Jan Hit Mein Jari with Nusrat in it, and that did really well. So, how
Hmm.
important do you think this whole social genre is now in cinema generally?
So, actually, cinema, what I feel is cinema is a reflection of what society is right now.
Hmm.
So, whenever we have this social relevance in our script or in our story or in our film, people people starts to connect more with the characters, with the situations, with the problem, with the issues, and so they feel like it is happening around them. It's not like something which is unbelievable, or which is very very uh, uh, not very relevant to what we are living in at this time.
Hmm.
So it is very important. That is what I feel. But Nadi Dosh has this particular social issue, which is talked in each and every houses when here in Gujarat, here in India, when we are going through a marriage. So एक प्रथा होती है कुंडली दिखाने की.
Hmm.
So अगर कुंडली दिखाते हैं और उसमें अगर जो नाड़ी एक है, वो अगर मेल और फीमेल की अगर दोनों की नाड़ी सेम है,
Hmm.
सो उसे नाड़ी दोष माना जाता है. एक ऐसी मान्यता है.
Hmm.
और ऐसा मानते हैं कि अगर वो नाड़ी समान है तो फिर बच्चे नहीं हो सकते. सो इट इज अ वेरी 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 इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक. बहुत पुरानी बात है ये, हर एक में डिस्कस होती है, बट फिर भी आज तक उस चीज पे बात नहीं हुई है, आज तक उस चीज पे फिल्म नहीं बनी है. एंड फाइनली a script, getting a script like this, so it was very exciting for me as an actor, because it is a hardcore love story, but yet set in a totally different atmosphere, totally different issue. So yeah, Rado also has a very very relevant like so if violence and riots are happening around people in the state, what affects the people, like people like us, people like uh, middle class family, people like us, who are not very powerful, who are not very on a politically correct situation, on a front line. What happens to us, what happens to them who is already a powerful person, like CM or like a police inspector. So it covers the aspect, every aspect of our lives when riots happen.
Hmm.
So yeah, and Fakta Mahilao Maate, so it is a very very socially very relevant film, because there are myths that there are people do say that it is really difficult to understand women, what goes into their mind.
Hmm.
So it is a very quirky subject, talking. So there's a man who gets a power to listen to their mind, what goes into their mind. So, and now what happens is the story. So my character is Chintan, who's stuck in a family where, not stuck, but he's surrounded by females. He's surrounded by women. Like my family has my ma, my mother, and my sister. I have a sari shop, so I have to deal with I all day I'm dealing with women.
Mm.
So I have a girlfriend. So I'm surrounded by females, and I'm frustrated that they say something and they do something. They have something in their mind, and they are not, they are saying something else.
Right.
So what to do with it? And I get powers to listen to their mind, and then the roller coaster starts.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. That, and I know, I
Yeah.
believe, I think Mr. Bachchan has done a cameo as well. I think
Yes,
in
yes,
the
yes,
film
yes,
as well.
yes. That's a huge thing for us, in like for all of us in Gujarat, in Gujarati people. Like Bachchans are speaking Gujarati,
Yeah.
listening to them in Gujarati, working with them, working with him on floor. Like it was a wonderful experience, a dream come true.
And also the fact that you've worked with our very own, stalwart of Gujarati cinema. That is, of course, Siddharth Randeria sir as well in
Yes,
Saljeevi
yes,
Life.
yes.
So, it must be quite, I'm sure it must be very overwhelming for you. I mean, but what do you get to learn actually from, very legendary figures like Siddharth sir or Mr. Bachchan? Because of course they have a vast experience, I think, in
Of
cinema
course, of
and
course.
in theatre and the acting craft itself. So, what were some of the key takeaways for you?
So like uh, when we were shooting with Bachchan Saab, he didn't know what the scene is about. He just knew the story, like basic concept of the film, and he liked it. And he was ready to do a cameo in this film. He supported us, and he was on set. Like he's a mega star. World knows him. Everyone knows him, and he's a brilliant actor. Like we all know that acting का definition है Mr. Amitabh Bachchan.
Hmm.
But still, he was very punctual. He had a call time of 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was on set at 10:45. He was meeting us for the very first time, and he made us very comfortable in that environment. Like when Mr. Bachchan Saab enters the set, it is all about him. Like
Hmm.
it surely is about him. So we were very like overwhelmed. Like I I I made myself. I consciously made myself decide that I have to work with him. I should not be like conscious, and it should not affect my character. It should not affect my work. I must not do any kind of a mistake, so that shoot मेरी वजह से नहीं रुकना चाहिए एक भी मिनट के लिए. So I was
Wow.
very conscious about that. But still, when he enters, when you see him like face to face, it is I can't explain it in words. So,
Yeah.
but he made sure that we are comfortable, and like when he was performing, like when we were doing the scene, I totally forget that he is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, and I was seeing him in the character he was playing.
Hmm.
So I also started believing that he is not Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, not Amitabh Bachchan, he Amitabh Bachchan, but he is that character, what he is playing.
Yeah, definitely. I think that,
So yeah,
yeah. I mean, I can imagine how overwhelming it must have been for you, actually, to be very
exactly.
honest.
Even working with Siddharth Randeria sir, he was very like sometimes he was very spontaneous. He supported us. Uh, his timing, like you can't imagine that particular timing. You can't imagine कि इस जगह पे इस तरह से इस टोनेशन में वो डायलॉग बोलेंगे और ऐसा इम्पैक्ट बन जाएगा जो
Hmm.
ऐसा सिंपल सा दिख रहा है स्क्रिप्ट पे उस पर्टिकुलर चीज को भी वो ऐसा बना देंगे. सो
Hmm.
दे आर लेजेंड्स.
Yeah, definitely. No, absolutely. But I think, Yash, one thing that I like about the spirit of your work, And I think I don't know if that's a conscious thing on your part or maybe just how things developed for you. But I really admire the way a lot of your films, especially whether it's Shoot Hai You, whether it's Chelo Divas, whether it's Chal Jeevi Le, there's that sense of living, that joy of living, that sense of uh I guess grabbing life by the balls, as they say, and making the most of it. I love that theme that, has kind of been there in your works. Is that something which you've consciously looked out for?
Uh, I don't know when. I don't know. It is not my conscious decision, of course. मुझे भी अभी रियलाइज हो रहा है जब आप बोल रहे हो तो हर फिल्म रिकॉल हो रही है और तब रियलाइज हो रहा है या so ऐसा था बट डू वॉच राडो राडो इज वेरी डिफरेंट इवन फक्त महिलाओं माटे is very different from what I've already done. Even Naadi Dosh is very different. Like it is about so Rado, Naadi Dosh, it is about myself. I come first. If
Mhm.
I'm very nice to you, I'm very nice to people who are nice to me. But when it comes to me, when it comes to my people, then nothing can stop.
Mm.
So that power, Nadi Dosh has different kind of a heroism. Like this particular line, this particular what do I say? This particular uh, track. If it comes to me or my people, I'm I'm nobody's anything. So, but in a very different atmosphere. Where come Rado is in a very different atmosphere. I'm chief minister's son, and I have that power. I have this personality. Even if nobody's with me, I am the one man army. If it comes to my people or me,
Mhm.
and also fuck the Mahilao Maate. I'm very frustrated, but I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I'm I must say I'm an escapist in that film. And when I have the power, I have I then I can listen to women's mind. And then what happens? It is like it is these three films. They are totally different from what I've done in past.
Right, right.
So yeah, I also feel blessed when 2022, this 3 months, June, July, and August. June 17th was Nadi Dosh, 22nd July was Rado, and now 19th August will be Fakt Mahilao Maate. So three films in 3 months and totally different characters, totally different atmosphere, totally different uh, personality. So I feel blessed as an actor that it happened to me.
Yeah, definitely. No, for sure. And I think it's great as well, because I feel like Gujarati cinema is heading towards that direction where I feel people are taking us more seriously. Jetli Ferre,
Uh,
I've spoken with Gujarati people. मैं कई दिवसों के दूसरे कि आपने जो है support करी अपना फिल्मों ने. But I think there was that sense of skepticism, which I've also discussed with other actors and directors as well. Beforehand, कि people would often forbar films and say, "अरे पण આ તો Gujarati film છે, આમાં શું હશે?" But now it's like, "Oh, Gujarati film આવ્યું છે, આપણો જોવું જ પડશે." That approach is changing. Have you felt that growth as well since you began your career?
yes, surely, surely. Like I must say that people like Krishna Dev Yagnik, Vaishal Shah, uh, many directors from here, many producers from here nowadays, they are breaking the stereotype. They are breaking all the barriers. Like with Rado, nobody imagined this kind of a film in Gujarati language. Nobody imagined this kind of a budget to invest in Gujarati films. Like producers like Anand sir, who has produced Fakt Mahilao Maate. Like
Mm.
he he's he's a legend himself.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he has done so many films, but still he's coming to Gujarati films, and it feels very what do I say, very good to see that people like Anand sir are coming back to Gujarati cinema just because now audience has started loving the films. Makers like our director Jai Budas who has directed Fakt Mahilao Maate. Makers like them are here now to tell such beautiful stories in such a quirky way, in such different kind of storytelling. So I feel we are going in a path which was needed for Gujarati cinema. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping that one day we will be recognized as film industry and not anything else. Like
Yeah,
Gujarati film, then we must watch it.
definitely. And I feel like because of the South as well, it's almost like the audience has awakened, to,
True, true,
cinema
true. Very
generally.
true.
Because I feel like, see, South has always been there. Everyone's talking about Malayalam films and Telugu
Right.
films, Tamil films, but they've always genuinely been very creatively brave in
True.
exploring themselves and acknowledging who they are. And I think that's the same with Gujarati cinema also, because yeah, whilst majority of the films back in the day were pretty much either retellings of, like, very traditional Hindu stories, or if there were comedies, for example. I feel like we've also had stories like, I think, was it Bhavni Bhavai, Ketan Mehta's one. So
Yes,
we've
yes,
always
yes. Of
had
course.
that, the art aspect of our cinema explored, but then somehow, because of commercial traction, it almost like as if it kind of faded away now, as well. Do you kind of think? Do you agree with that as well? Do you think that because of commercial traction and trying to make quick money has kind of, in a way, uh prevented us from actually exploring ourselves all this time? Do you think?
Uh, you know, there are many people who want to make films for their passion, where they want to tell stories, like they want to tell different kind of a stories. But what happens? We are a very we are actually we are still progressing. We are not a established industry like India still doesn't consider. That is what I feel. But on national level, we are not still considered that Gujarati film industry is really uh, coming out and standing out or something like we we still haven't been noticed yet on
Mm,
national level.
mm,
So we have this budget limitations, recovery limitations, and if we don't have that kind of power yet that कि ये एक फिल्म बना दो नहीं चली तो भी ठीक है हमारे पास और 10 फिल्मों का लाइनअप पड़ा हुआ है उसमें से इस फिल्म का भी कवर कर लेंगे या तो फिर ये एक फिल्म बना दो सिर्फ फेस्टिवल्स के लिए ये तो करेज बढ़ रही है मतलब Hillaro happened like
yeah.
it did great in film festivals and national award and
Mm,
everywhere like you talked about Bhavni Bhavai it happened that time like
mm,
I don't know कितना डिफिकल्ट रहा होगा उस टाइम पे इस फिल्म को एग्जीक्यूट करना टू
mm,
मेक अ फिल्म लाइक भवनी भवाई
mm,
एंड बट व्हाट आई फील इज कि अगर रिकवर नहीं हो रहा है तो प्रोड्यूसर्स या मेकर्स को मोटिवेशन तो फिर भी है बट वो स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है कि दूसरी एक अलग कहानी कह पाए
हाँ,
दूसरी एक ऐसी कहानी के जो अभी तक नहीं आई है वैसी कोई कहानी कह पाए
mm,
सो उसके लिए वी नीड मनी इट इज अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल
mm,
लाइक अगर रिकवरी नहीं हो रही है तो ऑफ कोर्स प्रोड्यूसर्स का भी मन उतना नहीं होगा
mm,
there are producers who know they don't want to make profit out of movies they
mm,
just want at least they are expecting a breakthrough
yeah.
like जितना हमने डाला है उतना एटलीस्ट निकल जाए तो हम एक्सपेरिमेंट भी कर सकते हैं हम
Mm,
ऐसी कहानियां भी बता सकते हैं लोगों को बट उसके लिए व्हाट आई फील इज कि ऑडियंस को भी उतना ही अवेयर होना पड़ेगा they can choose like they
mm,
have all the rights कि कौन सी फिल्म देखनी है कौन सी नहीं देखनी है because in the end after all they are going to spend their money which is very valuable like uh, when when I wasn't into cinema and I wasn't a recognized actor my family was also like that कि हमारा भाई हफ्ते का मतलब हफ्ते में अगर एक फिल्म देख रहे हैं हम तो फिर 1-2 हफ्ते तक थिएटर में नहीं जा पाएंगे हम
mm,
क्योंकि वो एक बजट लेके चल रहे हैं और सिनेमा इज एटलीस्ट फॉर अस फॉर माय फैमिली एंड आई फील इंडिया में कई सारी फैमिली बहुत सारी स्पेशली इन गुजरात कि वो ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस है कि वो एक फेस्टिवल जैसा एक फिल्म देखने जाना
जी,
तो हाँ तो पूरी फैमिली के साथ जाना पॉपकॉर्न का चिल्ला करना तो वो एक फेस्टिवल जैसा है तो इट मतलब ऐसा नहीं रहता है कि हर दूसरे दिन पे फिल्म देखने गए हर फैमिली आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फैमिली
Mm.
So there are many aspects, but I feel कि जिस तरह की कहानियां अब कही जा रही है, जिस तरह की कहानियां after OTT and after exposure to so many films and web series and all after COVID, people are aware. We have seen so many different kind of films. They have grasped so much content that they are now. I feel they are ready for new stories, for new kind of storytelling. So it will progress. That is what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, even if we talk about the most recent time, for example, there was a movie that I've seen 3 times, which I absolutely loved. It was Pan
Which
Melon
film?
Cello Show. Cello Show,
Oh,
last
you
Cello
you've
Show.
seen it?
It was outstanding. It was so,
Of
so
course.
good.
Trailer
You know,
looked so good. I'm eagerly waiting for this that film to release.
it's brilliant, Yash. Honestly, when I see films like that, and I think what the sad part is though, because I was speaking with Nalin Bhai about this, and I think the sad part is that films that often get global acclaim abroad, or that do well abroad, um, sadly we don't celebrate that film. Like if we see most of the acclaims that Last Film Show is getting is mostly reported in the Western press, whereas our Indian press isn't
Right.
covering it
True.
much.
True. True. True.
And
True.
I've
Very
never
true.
understood that the double standards why we have that, because I feel like
Hmm.
if we've got such a gem of a movie that's come from our own heartland of Gujarat, it's a Kathiawadi story in essence. So then
Right.
why are we not celebrating it? I also feel this attitude as well, Yash. I mean, how do you cope with that? I mean, obviously it must be quite disheartening for you as an artist to see that, I'm sure. You know?
Of course it is, but I don't know why. Why? Like India is known for cinema. Like
Yeah.
Satyajit Ray, many Rituparna Ghosh, many directors from here are, people know India for cinema. They love India for cinema. But why are we not, like just you said, why are we not celebrating this? Like film like Cello Show, वो अगर यहाँ पे उतना एक्सपोजर उसे मिले, अगर उतना एक्सपोजर मीडिया के थ्रू या लोगों के थ्रू से मिल रहा है, तो शायद ऑडियंस जिसे जैसे हमने पिछले मुद्दे पे बात की, तो शायद ऑडियंस उतनी अवेयर होगी कि हम नई फिल्म या नए नए तरह के सब्जेक्ट हम लेके आ पाए, या तो उस तरह की बात हम कह पाए. बट आई डोंट नो द रीजन क्यों क्यों ये उतना एक्सपोजर नहीं मिल रहा है जितना हम हमें मिलना चाहिए. जैसे कि आपने बताया, वहां पे वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में छिल्लो शो के इतनी जगह पे प्रीमियर्स हुए, इतनी जगह पे वो फेस्टिवल्स में सेलेक्ट हुई, इतना इतना ज्यादा अप्रिशिएशन मिला उस फिल्म को. बट इंडिया में देयर आर वेरी फ्यू पीपल हु नो अबाउट छिल्लो शो,
Hmm.
एंड आई डोंट नो व्हाई. I'm
It's that
it
it's
is
all.
heartbreaking, yes.
It is very heartbreaking, but then I also think maybe it is that whole maybe I mean I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a 50-50 thing, but maybe it also is, I think, having that balance perhaps sometimes as well, having that commercial appeal. Like for example, let's take Pratik Gandhi, our very own Pratik Gandhi from Gujarati
Hmm.
film industry. I mean, look, we've known his work for so many years, since the beginning of his
Hmm.
career, right? But then obviously, after he did Scam 1992, he's really broke the glass ceiling, and he's now also known as a Hindi film actor. Hindi
Hmm.
audiences have and now he's in that mainstream sort of sort of light. But I think for you as well, mainstream doesn't seem to be something that you're really that bothered about. Like, if I'm honest, like, are you that bothered actually? Let me ask you, are you bothered about the mainstream attention of getting into Hindi cinema? Because it was often considered a pinnacle, when really it's just also another industry of Indian cinema, right?
True. True. Uh, for me, what happens is I'm seeking for good characters. I'm seeking for different characters, and I don't mind whether it is in Gujarati or Hindi or any other language. If I can, I can learn those languages. But I want to play a character which is very different from what I've done, from what I've observed already in society, uh, from what is happening already. So अगर हिंदी सिनेमा वो चीज ऑफर, हिंदी सिनेमा में क्या है कि हिंदी वो बहुत बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है. हम जिस जहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं गुजराती इंडस्ट्री में, वो काफी छोटी इंडस्ट्री है वो अभी बड़ी हो रही है,
Mm.
जिस तरह से आगे जैसे कि वो प्रोग्रेस प्रोग्रेस कर रही है अभी भी वो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री, तो वहां पे कैरेक्टर्स ज्यादा है. दैट इज द ओनली एंड ओनली यू नो मतलब वो क्या कहते हैं उसे, कि वो एक ही चस्का है वहां पे काम करने का, क्योंकि वहां पे कैरेक्टर्स ज्यादा है, ना कि एक्सपोजर, ना कि मुझे मुझे बिल्कुल भी मैं चाहता हूँ कि ऐसी फिल्मों में काम करूँ जहाँ पे ऑडियंस का उतना एक्सपोजर ना हो, लेकिन एक मीनिंगफुल सिनेमा हो, ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स हो कि जो काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग कैरेक्टर्स हो, नहीं कि पर्सनालिटी वाइज बट टू पोर्ट्रे.
Mm.
जैसे कि प्रतीक भाई की आपने बात की, ही इज अ ब्रिलियंट एक्टर, ही इज अ
Yeah.
ब्रिलियंट एक्टर. he did theater for so long, like
Mhm.
theater में भी people recognized him but very few people.
Mm.
He did so many films in Gujarati, like उन्होंने हमेशा प्रूव किया है अपने हर एक कैरेक्टर को. तो उनकी खास बात ये भी मुझे लगती है कि वो कोई भी फिल्म हो, उनका काम आप देखिए वो बहुत ही बेहतरीन रहा है अब तक.
Mm.
बट पीपल रिकग्नाइज आफ्टर स्कैम. सो
Yeah.
इट इज ऑल्सो दैट के आफ्टर स्कैम उनको मतलब एज एन एक्टर भी रिकग्निशन मिला इंडस्ट्री में, कि उनको जिस तरह के कैरेक्टर्स मिलने चाहिए वो अभी उनके पास ऑप्शंस है, कि इतने सारे कैरेक्टर्स, ये तरह के काम, ये वो. तो नाउ यू नो ही कैन survive on those character that he wants to play.
True.
नहीं कि yeah, so we all know that we all come from a very middle class background. He is also from there. He started from scratch. So before scam, I don't know. I'm nobody to say this, but कहीं ना कहीं शायद एक थॉट आता होगा कि just to survive I need to do this, just to survive I need to do that. But वो आगे बढ़ते रहे and then scam happened and now he's now he's choosing scripts like anything, he's choosing characters like anything. So he's proving now that
Mm.
and everybody knows. So it's a I'm so happy for him. But yeah, it happens कि गुजराती में अगर मुझे कैरेक्टर्स उस तरह से मिल रहे हैं, एंड आई एम ब्लेस्ड इनफ कि मुझे जो मुझे चाहिए, जो डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स चाहिए, जो अलग तरह तरह की कहानियों में मुझे हिस्सा बनना है, वो मुझे मिल रहा है. इवन इफ इट इज हैपनिंग इन हिंदी सिनेमा, I want to work there also. I want to explore new directors, but that doesn't mean that I'm not happy here, or I'm this is my struggle to reach there. It is not like that. I'm totally enjoying this, and this is my life. This is what I am
Yeah.
working here and working on such characters and such good scripts.
Yeah, here, definitely. But I think on a final note as well, Yash, you're working in Abhishek Jain's next project as well, which
Yes,
again looks
yes,
like a
yes, yes.
thriller. It looks like a very
Yeah.
the first glimpse. I think it's with Diksha Joshi. I think you're working
Yes, yes, yes,
with
yes,
that.
yes,
So
yes.
you're working on that, and that looked really, really intriguing. I remember
It
messaging.
is something. It is something else. Like ऐसी ऐसा ऐसी कोई कहानी, ऐसी कोई बात मुझे नहीं पता गुजराती में अभी तक हुई है. और वो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है. जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि कुछ ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स के जो मैंने वो जो कैरेक्टर है वो मैं जिंदगी में कभी नहीं बनना चाहूंगा, वो मैं कभी नहीं चाहूंगा. वो पर्सनालिटी से मैं बिल्कुल ही अलग तरह का इंसान हूँ. बट टू प्ले समथिंग व्हाट आई एम नॉट, it is very very exciting and very nice to be in a skin of that particular character who I don't want to be, who I never wanted to be, but I am that particular person in that particular project. So yeah, it is
Oh wow.
it is nice to be featured in that project. And that is also a very interesting project. It is called Missing. It is a web series, and
Mm.
Abhishek Jain has directed it. Who directed? Everybody knows him, but who directed KV Jayesh PR?
Mm.
And so yeah, but that is also a very different kind of a film. I mean, a
Web
series.
series. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. So do you know when it's releasing? Any idea of on what's the status? Are you still working on it? I mean, what's happening with that?
Yes, post production is going on. We have shot the series, and post production is going on. But we are expecting it maybe around August and September.
Oh,
We we might push it, but I don't know the release date or when it is coming out. because post production is still going on. So,
Mhm.
and I'm totally into this right now, promoting Fakt Mahilao Maate. So I don't have any update about that project, but
Okay.
after this I'm going to call him.
Oh,
When are we getting it out?
yeah, no, definitely. I'm very excited for that one. It looks really, really good. But
Yes, 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 yes.
look, I mean, if that one also releases, I mean, it would be a complete successful year, I think, for you. I think 2022 is definitely
For
proving to be
sure.
that year, I think, for you, Yash. And I think મારા માટે બી બહુ ગર્વની વાત કહેવાય. અમારા માટે બહુ ગર્વની વાત કહેવાય કે તમારા જેવા એક એટલા fine actor ને આવા બધા chances મળે છે and you're doing really well.
Thank
I
you
think
so much.
it's very
Thank you
exemplary
so
for
much.
all of us. So congratulations.
આવું appreciation છે ને બહુ મોટિવેટ કરે છે. એક ગુજરાતી તરફથી આવેલું એક ગુજરાતી લોકો તરફથી આવેલું appreciation ખરેખર બહુ મોટિવેટ કરે છે.
No, definitely. No, absolutely. If we don't support our films, who will? You know, is always my motto. So no, definitely. But look, wishing you all the very best, Yash, and thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy. It was such a pleasure
Thank you.
to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It
Thank
was a
you.
wonderful interview.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much. My
wonderful
pleasure.
talking with you. Thank you so much.